What's up, guys? I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I'm also a certified weight cut specialist. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the protocol that I used to help my client Maddy, who's a mixed martial artist, cut 8 pounds overnight so she could make weight for her mixed martial art fight. And I'm also going to show you the protocol that I use to help my athletes who are in sports that require water cutting from time to time, how I help rehydrate them properly to give them the best chance at performing optimally when the time comes. Warning. This video is for educational and demonstrational purposes only. If you're an athlete looking to cut weight, make sure you hire a certified coach to help you with the process, as well as check in with your primary care doctor to make sure you're medically safe to do a weight cut. During all of my weight cuts with clients, I make sure that I'm in contact with a licensed medical professional to help me make live decisions to determine if the cut is unsafe and we need to stop it for the client, or if the client is deemed medically safe to keep going. First, we must get on the same page about what a weight cut is. A weight cut is basically weight loss. And for these purposes, it's important to determine that there are two main ways that someone can weight cut. The first way, losing weight via body fat. This is usually done with a nutrition and a strength and conditioning protocol, but is mostly a nutritional deficit that the person puts themselves in to stimulate body fat loss. The goal when you cut weight via the body fat method is to retain as much lean body mass as possible and lose mostly body fat. Your goal with the fat loss cut is to also keep that body fat off your body after the cut phase. Now, the second method is the water cut. So this is usually done with a 10-day out protocol with distinct 5, 3, and 1 day out protocols that we follow. And the goal with a cut via water is that all of that water that is being lost on the athlete or the person is being put back into the body after weigh-ins. So whenever you water cut, however much you cut, all of it gets put back on because that's stored water that you need and it's stored glycogen for your future performance, which makes rehydration just as important as the water cut itself. Now that we've determined the two distinct methods of weight cutting, understand that this video is the final night of the weight cut, which means I was working with the client months before this, tapering the strength and conditioning program, as well as manipulating their nutrition protocols. What any strength and conditioning coach is going to do is, and what I suggest, get the athlete to diet down and lose as much body fat before the actual water cut begins. I recommend that for pretty much all athletes because water cuts are very dangerous. They're very hard on the body, especially if you're a professional athlete and you have to do them often. So my recommendation to any athlete and to any coaches out there is to get your clients to lose as much weight via body fat while maintaining as much lean muscle via dieting down before the water cut begins. After the water cut, another thing that you will not see in this video is that there is also a diet break or reverse diet protocol that we follow, just safely getting them back into a maintenance phase. If you're a jiu-jitsu grappler and you're watching this, you need to understand that this method was done with a distinct protocol. This is not recommended for tournaments or matches with same-day weigh-ins because you simply just don't have enough time to rehydrate for your best performance. So that's why I recommend for most tournaments, especially ones with same-day weigh-ins, that you just diet down via body fat. It's not worth the detriment to performance and the risk. You're better off walking around with a 5-pound window of your competition weight, in my opinion. Now, with that in mind and out of the way, here's how we did it. Okay, first things first was getting an initial blood pressure reading from Maddy, making sure she was rested when she did this, just so we had some baseline objective information so that I could make decisions, contextual decisions later on. This is all happening 1 day out to weigh-ins, and it's 2 days out from her MMA fight. In the afternoon, we went to the gym for a nice light peak workout, something that was going to stimulate her nervous system but not exhaust her, something very easy to recover, just kind of work up that sweat, make her feel good and fast about being explosive. I like doing this for the athlete. Do not do heavy bad work or sparring. Heavy mitt work for MMA athletes. You don't want to be super heavy there because you're about to cut. And then same thing with jiu-jitsu athletes. You don't want to be doing hard sparring. It needs to be something to build a sweat, but something that is easily recoverable from. Now we're getting ready for the cut. I'm making sure here that I set up the bathroom. So I have a palette using basically every blanket imaginable. My timer. I also have a temperature for the bath water, a hair dryer. I also have Sweet Sweat, and then she has her sweatsuit provided by Gaidama. I'm gonna have a towel plugging the bathroom door, the crack, you want it hot, like turn your bathroom basically into a sauna. I'm also in there with her, so she is not unsupervised in the cut. So when it comes to filling up the bathtub, a lot of people go way too hot. You want to make sure you're getting a measurement of the bathtub and you want it no higher than 112 degrees. Ideally, within a little above 104, 105 range, but within 105 and 112 degrees. Do not exceed 112. A lot of people go too hot too soon, and that you just won't be able to stay submerged. Your skin can't take it. The bathroom is plugged up at this point. She's getting ready. When it comes to submersion, there's a caveat with big athletes. If you have the ability to submerge both your lower body and your torso, you want to go ahead and submerge both with the neck showing. So shoulders, everything in the tub. If you're a very big athlete and you just don't have that luxury, the next best option is legs out and the torso submerged, because that's your vital organs. It's like where you're going to generate heat. How long do we go into the bath? Well, we do it when the fighter does what's called a crack, like quote unquote crack, when the fighter cracks. So what that means is when the first bead of sweat actually drops down the athlete's face. So as soon as I'm watching her intently, not just when the little sweat, it's when there's that first bead goes down. Now the fighter has cracked. Start the timer, and we have 20 minutes from the time the athlete cracks, monitoring the whole time. You're just hanging out. You do not want to stand up too fast. So I assist her, making sure she turns. We rest for about 5 seconds, another 5 seconds to stand up, as well as 5 seconds to get out of the tub and even just get your legs over it. So you stand up very slowly. It should take 15 to 20 seconds to get out of the tub. You don't want to do it too fast. And now here, it's not so much that we need to be the fastest team right now, but you are kind of a NASCAR pit crew in this point as a coach, because her body has heat and it's time to transfer to the wrap. So I dab her off with a towel, and then I'm using this product called Sweet Sweat that stimulates more sweating. So I'm dabbing her off the water and then putting Sweet Sweat all over her body so we can stimulate more sweating. And then we put her in our specialty jumpsuit provided by Gaidama. And then she's ready to actually be full jumpsuit into the pallet that I've created. We're still in the bathroom and it still feels like a sauna in there. And then we transfer to the pallet for another 20 to 25 minutes. After we do this, we take a break. So a 15-minute break after she's rested. And then I check her blood pressure again to make sure we're in a safe enough range to do another bath. Also, we're checking our weight in between. So after I checked her blood pressure after the first bath and wrap, she was good. She was within normal ranges. I checked in with the licensed medical professional and I had the go ahead. So we did another bath with the same protocols. After the second bath, we took another 15-minute break and then checked the blood pressure again. After the second bath, we didn't do a second wrap. I wanted to see what her blood pressure would be. So after the second bath, we determined that her blood pressure was too low. It wasn't in safe ranges to do a third bath for that evening. Now, something interesting is Maddy, my athlete, was mentally ready. Like she really felt like she could have done another bath, but the objective data told us otherwise, and we were good with that decision. So she actually went to sleep, slept that night, got up that morning. Now we're on day of weigh-ins, which are usually in the evening or early or like kind of later afternoon for most MMA sports. And we actually did 2 more baths to get her on goal weight the next morning. So I'm really glad that we actually called the cut that night and let her rest. Now the whole time, it's tough because she's not eating any food or drinking any water. So the only thing she's really having is chewing on ice chips and frozen cherries, literally, minimally, like as needed. So as you can see here, safety is our most important concern. So at no point is she really like left alone during this cut, or should be left alone. She makes weight, and then it's time to rehydrate. Now, when it comes to a proper rehydration protocol, I have 2 suggestions. The first one is a do-it-yourself that I'm going to link below. The number of bottles that you drink depends on how much weight was cut. Now, for my second rehydration protocol that I suggest, I must first disclose that there's a conflict of interest here because I'm sponsored by this product. It's Sway Hydration. This is cold-pressed fruits and vegetables, and it's all natural. And this is probably one of the best ways, in my opinion, to rehydrate after a water cut for an athlete and for the best performance on the mat. I had my client Maddy drink Sway Hydration right after weigh-ins. Pro tip, it's important that you rehydrate with the water before you go eat your meal. Do not introduce any new foods into your diet in your fight camp at all, but definitely the night before when you go eat. So it should be all foods that you were familiar with. Maddy also drank a couple of Sway hydrations on fight day, and she felt amazing. She looked great out there in the cage. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment below for what kind of educational content you guys want to see. I'll see you guys in the mat.